Hello everyone, it's Bethany from Beth and Books and welcome back to this book nook. I am a British born, Kiwi raised woman who today is getting her 14th tattoo. That's what this video is all about. You read it right. But first there are a few things I need to go and, well, not go and do, just do before we go get a tattoo. If you haven't had a tattoo before, there's a few things you need to make sure of. You need to make sure you're hydrated. You need to make sure you have eaten, and you need to make sure that 3 felt like a good number, but I don't have a third. So right now, the waffle maker, it has preheated. I am making myself waffles for breakfast. I need a spoon. I thought of the third thing, entertainment. You need to make sure you have entertainment. Waffle is baking. House is a little bit of a mess. It looks worse than it actually is, so I'm just going to quickly tidy up so I can relax. Are we in focus? So while saying my breakfast, I thought I would answer the question that I get a lot of the time. Why do I get tattoos? Well, before I can actually answer that question, I actually need to get a bit deep with you guys and talk about my spiritual beliefs. So I am not religious. I do not believe in a single God. However, I am spiritual, and to be honest, I don't really like that word because to me, I think that there's insinuation that if you call yourself spiritual, you're like woo woo wah wah, or you just can't commit to a religion. That's not the situation for me. I call myself spiritual in the sense that I like to read self-help books. I like to delve a little bit into the psyche, and I like to look into and learn about things like meditation and manifestation. I do tarot. I'm intrigued by horoscopes. I'm not as interested in them as I am other things like tarot, but this is what I'm getting at. I've read the Book of Tao, which is like Taoists' Bible, although they would hate you to call it a Bible because they don't believe that their way of living is a religion. It's a way of living. If anything, I would say I'm closer to Taoism than I am anything. If you held a gun to my head and said, Bethany, what do you believe in? That would be the closest thing I can give you as to an answer. Now, in a lot of the self-help style books I've read, something that often comes up is the perception and the discussion and the diving into the question, who am I? Who are you? Like, do you answer by sharing your career? That's not you. That's just what you do in a capitalism society to earn money. So who am I? I'm Bethany? No, that's just a name. This is very deep over waffles. And the best answer I have for you, sorry, pointing at you guys with my knife, you are you. There doesn't have to be any deeper understanding than that. I am I, me is me, you is you. And so I believe that I could be put into a different physical body. I'm starting to answer the question now, guys. I could be put in a different physical body and I would still be me. I would just be experiencing life through a different physical means. You've heard of a soul, if that's what you want to call it. My soul and my body, I do think are different. We're entwined, but we're two different things. This is a flesh sack. This is a flesh sack that gets me through life. I need more hydration. So for me, tattoos help visualize me on my physical self. I am internal. People see external, and I like to decorate my body in a way that helps me feel seen. Not that I really care about how people perceive me though. It helps me feel more like who I think I am. I will never fully know myself. Who knows who Bethany is in 5 years, 10 years, 2 days even. Who knows what experience I will have experienced for future me to become future me. However, right now, getting tattoos helps me feel like me. Hope that answered your question, if you even asked it. I should also say though that doesn't mean that every tattoo I have has some really deep meaning to it. Sometimes I just get them because I like how they look. And if you want more information on my tattoos, I do have a dedicated tattoo tour video up on my channel. I'll try and remember to link it down below, but it's not that many videos ago if you just go to my page. But it's time to get ready. Step one for me, I am adding onto my leg. Boom. So I'm going to shave. So the artist possibly will anyway, but I'm just going to go have a shower and shave my legs. All right, I have a Coach bag here. This is what I am wearing because I do need the top of my knee to be exposed. But I'm creating a bit of a snack pack here for Ty and I. Oh, it's the coffee machine that's in the way. Because he's also getting a tattoo, but he's at work and that man is hungry when he finishes work. And I don't know if he'll have time to grab any food before he pops over to the studio. So I've got some Lab Pocky. I've got a couple of muesli bars in here already. I'm going to create a cute little chocolate snack pack. We've got cookie dough Kit Kat. I'm going to pop in some ginger nut biscuits. This is all going to get mixed up, but oh well. These are his crisps of the moment. Honestly, this Coach bag is great. I feel like, is there anything else I can put in here? A water bottle is also a must. Hydration. I just remembered, I made cookies yesterday. They can go in here too. In terms of entertainment, please excuse the state of the bedroom. I was halfway through putting clothes away. I was thinking about bringing my tablet, but I've decided against it just because it's so big. Instead, I'm going to download the book on my phone. I've decided to read the El Rio one I was meant to read in the last vlog because I'm in the mood now for, I don't know, tattoos. My brain links to academia. This book is Dark Academia. It's about, basically it centers around one man who was put in prison. He's come out of prison 10 years later, and the person who put him in prison basically meets him at the gate when he's leaving and goes, bruh, can you actually tell me what happened those years ago? And it turns out that our main character and a group of his friends went to like a really prestigious Shakespeare school, and then things just got too real, and one of Shakespeare's murder tragedies accidentally kind of got replicated. At least that's what I get from the blurb. So that's the book I'm going to be reading whilst I get my skin stabbed thousands of times with a needle for art. Also, I have headphones because I might edit some stuff on my phone. We'll see. Normally, honestly, I just sit there and watch the tattoo artists. 2-3 hours, however long it takes. Sometimes I chat with them if they're chatty. It's chill. But for now, it is time to go. I'm going to call an Uber because I hate buses and that's the only public transport option for me at the moment. So I'm going to catch an Uber and then we'll be there. I got an Uber share, forgetting that it takes a little bit extra time, but this is what happens when you're chronically early anyway. You still have time, so it should still be all right. Hi. Tea, that is where I am going. And we go.
Awesome. Yeah. Sick. Just gonna bring up the emails. This is a new phone.
Alright, 3/4 of the way in, having another break. Oh, a bit of fluff. There we go. Okay, almost there.
Thanks for your patience.
Oh, thank you. You know, it's a bigger job than originally set out to be. The tattoo is all done. Hang on, I'll show you better. Okay, this is my legs now. Oh, I love it so much. Can you guys see? I'll insert some photos as well, which has some other detail. Can you get a video for me, Beck? Yeah, buddy. Oh, that part right there was the worst part right down there. Oh, I'm so hungry. Yeah.
The pie saute.
That one is good. I want apple pie though. Thank you. Yeah. Welcome to a new day in the dull autumn that is Melbourne. I mean, my blinds are down still. I want to go for a shower, but before I do that, since this is like a tattoo vlog, I wanted to show you what it is looking like. So after you get a fresh tattoo, because it is a wound, depending on the artist, they'll wrap it with different things. Some artists will just wrap it with like Glad wrap, saran wrap, plastic wrap, sandwich wrap. I don't know, there's so many different terms for it. And some people use a thing called second skin. Now me, I appreciate second skin for what it does. It's basically, it's what I've got on right now, I'll show you. It is when you have this very thin film of plastic that sticks all the way around your leg. And I appreciate what it does for you the night of, like it stops, I'm trying to get you guys some better lighting. It stops the tattoo from, I suppose, one, being exposed because the Glad wrap would have to come off whilst you're sleeping and stuff. But two, it keeps your sheets nice and clean. It doesn't get ink all over your sheets. However, what it doesn't do is let your tattoo breathe and heal. Bit of misinformation there. For some people, it lets them heal. For a lot of people, they keep it on for multiple days and their tattoo just heals underneath it. But for me, it doesn't work, and that's what I'm about to show you. Which is what I've always been raised to do whenever I have a wound. And again, a tattoo is a wound just with ink in it in a pretty pattern. So I'm going to show you what it looks like here, and you can see how the ink seeps, and ultimately that's like blood and, I don't know, plasma. I'm not a doctor. I flunked out of that at uni and became a teacher instead. So this is what it looks like. So in all honesty, it doesn't look as oozy as I thought it would. Things have looked a lot oozier in the past for me, but you can see right here in the middle, that's where it's really like gunky, where the dark parts are. So what I'm going to do right now is go shower. You're meant to take your second skin off under warm water, and it peels off a lot easier than it looks like it would. Luckily I did shave yesterday morning because otherwise this would had tenfold. But I'm going to go shower now. Alexa, what is 50% of 271?
50% of 271 is 135.5.
Okay, yeah. Alrighty, post shower. This is how we're looking. Oh. What I'm going to do is let this fully dry out. I have been sitting here admittedly for maybe an hour at this point, just making some thumbnails, editing the previous vlog together. To be honest, it's looking pretty dry, but I'm going to give it a little bit longer, and then what I pop on it is the Bentham Tattoo. You can technically use any light, scentless moisturizer. I've used CeraVe in the past because that's just what I've had on hand. But when I actually went and got my little ghost there, if you did a review, you got a free Bentham Tattoo. And my mum was there, and so she got one and just gave it to me as well, because she got a tattoo as well. She was such a cool mum. But I digress. This I've enjoyed using. I do not like regular Bentham. It is way too heavy. It's made for babies. But Bentham Tattoo is good. So I'm going to let this dry out for a little bit longer and put a light layer of this over it. The artist said to put this on 3 to 4 times a day. And when I was healing my butterfly, I didn't put enough moisturizer on it, so maybe I will do 4 times a day. We'll see how it goes, especially when it's in its scab era. But anyway, I told you guys that I was reading the Dark Academic book, If We Were Villains. I always forget what this book is called. If We Were Villains. Okay, honest thoughts. I'm 50% of the way through and I'm not liking it. I would normally say that I'm not really enjoying it yet, but I'm 50% of the way. This book just isn't for me. I am going to keep reading it though, because I do want to see if anything else happens, how our Oliver got into prison, because we are going through the motions of what has happened so far. I definitely enjoy how and what the author has tried to do, all right? So Oliver and Oliver's mates went to this school for dancers, opera singers, yada yada yada, and actors. He's part of the final year of actors, of which there are 7 of them. And we know from the blurb that something's going to happen, something tragic's going to happen. It has officially happened at this point in the book. And I liked the suspense there. I also like how the book is set out. It's set out in acts and parts, and it's a nice nod to Shakespeare. I also like how the author has included lines from Shakespeare. The people that were following the characters obviously love his work and are very knowledgeable about his work, much like the author is. The problem I'm having is I am not very knowledgeable about Shakespeare, and the amount of Shakespearean references there are in here makes it very hard for me to fully understand what's happening. The characters will sometimes bring out a passage of Shakespeare, and I just do not have the time, the energy, the desire to sit here and figure out what it is that Shakespeare is saying, because it is Old English. So for someone who isn't that intimate with Shakespeare, it's meaning that I feel like I'm missing a lot of what's going on, and I'm not loving that for me. If you like what's it called, Donna Tartt's, you know the one I'm talking about when I say Dark Academia, The Secret History, I do think this book could be for you. And I don't just say that because it's Dark Academia. I know a lot of novels are compared to The Secret History because of the Dark Academia vibe, and that's totally valid. I say this is like the Secret History in that there's a very close-knit group of friends. There's moral greyness included. There's a few what do you call them, lecturers, a few teachers who are also kind of interesting folk themselves. And there's also this feeling of things not going quite the right way, as well as it being set at like this old school. So if you like Shakespeare and you like The Secret History, this one might be for you. For now, my laptop is actually on charge and I do need to do some schoolwork, but I'm going to make myself some popcorn, caramel popcorn in fact, and read some more of the book just to chip away at it. I've still got 150 pages to the end. It's feeling a bit like a slog. I'm wondering if it picks up from here, but for now we're going to do another episode of Baking with Beth. Yeah,
Squishy blueberries.
caramel popcorn edition. This is not revolutionary in any way. I've made it multiple times before on this channel. I'll find the recipe and keep it in my bio below. It's not even really a recipe, it's just me figuring out what I normally do and putting it into words. So all you need is your choice of popcorn, brown sugar, honey. I find runny honey just the easiest to work with, and butter. This is not healthy. My first trick to make things less chaotic is to just get your popcorn done first. Normally the caramel hardens, so if you use a glass bowl and it's hard to clean, you can kind of pop it in the microwave for a little bit rather than it being in a metal bowl, so clear bowl. A pot. Once you've made this a few times, you get used to just eyeballing the amounts, but basically you just want a good bit of butter. I'm going for about that much. So if this is my butter, I put in enough honey. I put in enough honey to kind of cover the top of it. Like so. A trick for your popcorn is to open it just the tiniest amount, like tiny. And if you shake it upside down, you can get all the unpopped seeds out. I won't get all of them, but it gets a lot. Titus enjoys plain popcorn, so I just leave some in here for him. For me, it's important that I have this set up because once this starts going, everything goes quite fast. So you want to just turn it on. I just put it on high, and you need to wait for the butter and the honey to melt together. I find a spatula is best because once you put the sugar in, you want to keep stirring it so things don't burn. And it pays to have a glass of cold water because I don't have a like caramel thermometer or anything. I just drip it in there, and you know it's good because it hardens before it reaches the bottom. This is honestly just a recipe my mum taught me. She didn't even teach me, I just saw her make it enough times that I know how to do it. Okay, that's melted. I'm just going to spoon sugar in. I just eyeball it at this point. Oh, you don't want it bubbling just yet. I just eyeball it at this point. Just know the more sugar you put in, the harder it is. So I don't like to put too much in for this. Yeah, on the heat. And basically guys, this is going to bubble up real fast. I just keep stirring it. I know some people say to simmer. I just ignore all of that and do what works for me. And then I'll drip it in here. And when it's all done, I'll pour it in there. Actually, I'm gonna call it that. I don't want it to be too hard. So I'm gonna pour this in here very carefully, not to burn myself. I have done that way too many times. Before it gets too cold, you have to stir it all in, being aware that a bunch of it gets to the bottom. So you got to kind of awkwardly do this. But again, be very careful not to burn yourself, because this stuff, if it gets on your fingers, it stays and it hurts. And then to try to keep it as warm as I can, I kind of like shape everything into a dome in the middle of the bowl. Partially this helps with the popcorn from sticking on the side as much, and it also keeps the stuff in the middle warmer for a bit longer. Interesting discovery in that I used Manuka honey because weirdly it was cheaper than regular honey at the supermarket, and I think it cooks quicker than regular honey, because that solidified real fast, like faster than normal. So anyway, I'm gonna sit here, try and make some progress in this book, and then I'll check in with you again. Oh, okay. It has adequately dried up. I can feel it pulling a little bit, so I'm going to moisturize my leg whilst I talk to you about We Were Once Villains. I finished it. My overall rating is going to be 2.5 stars. I think that the right person, the right audience for this would love it, and that is someone who appreciates what I'm going to call slow murder mysteries, along with obviously Shakespeare, as I have talked about on length. Yeah. My little leg is so bruised. I'll insert a clip, by the way, of what it's looking like in better lighting. Can you guys see like the bruising there? That's where it hurt the most. I'll put a picture up of like my pain scale for it, by the way. That's all just like redness, but I can see like an actual deeper bruising there. So yeah, ultimately it's one of these situations where I actually don't think it's a necessarily bad book, just it's not for me. I like my mysteries a little bit more action, fast-paced, and I think I've learnt this because I had a similar experience with Donna Tartt's The Secret History. When I know, in our case, who that hurts, who the person in prison is, or in Donna Tartt's case, the person who killed, who is dead, is. It's hard for me to have drive to get to the end of the book because I feel like I already know the answer. It's exactly the same reason why I don't read books if I've watched the movie. If I want to watch a movie but there's a book out of it and I know that I would like to read the book, I know that I have to read the book first. It's like that with June, and it's why I haven't watched any of the June movies yet, because I want to read the book first. Because when I know what's happening, oh, you know what, it's actually swollen a bit, ouchie. When I know what's happening, I'm not as interested. It's just the truth of it. Okay, here we go. Lightly all moisturized. She is glistening, she is gleaming, she is stinging. I hope that you have enjoyed this vlog. I really enjoyed taking you along with me. I haven't taken you guys along with me on many of my tattoos, but I actually enjoyed doing it this time, which bodes well for future vlogs. If you've made it to the end of the video and you're not yet a part of this little bookish and vlogging community, please consider leaving a cheeky like and subscribe down below. But with that all being said and done, this is the end of the vlog. It is a Thursday. School starts on Monday, so hopefully I'll be able to keep up with the content. I've been putting out 2 videos at the moment, which is nice. Let me know if there's any video ideas you really want to see me do. I will add them to my list, but for now I'm really just enjoying doing these chill vlogs, sometimes a specific bookish video. But yeah, that's me. Enjoy all the places you go in your reading and life adventures. I will see you in the next one. Oh, I'm so sore.